Hello and welcome to Coin Lady channel. In this video, we will cover a wide range of topics. Everything points to XRP price increasing rapidly in the not too distant future. I'll tag it as an XRP video so you all get alerted when it goes live. And let me tell you, I'm so relieved that I ditched the banks long ago and embraced crypto. It was, without a doubt, the most astute decision I've ever made. Uncertainty in the White House, and thus the markets. We do not think it is wise for OPEC to reduce production. That point was communicated to OPEC. This administration in Washington continues to think it runs the show. That, I believe, is rapidly evolving. Rosneft, a major Russian oil producer, and Indian Oil Corp, a leading Indian refiner, have recently agreed to use the Dubai oil price benchmark in their contract for the delivery of Russian oil to India. Both of these firms are under heavy government oversight. This action is interpreted as a possible departure from the long-established European standard represented by the Brent benchmark. They are beginning to establish their own norms. They are unconcerned with the opinions of other nations. In the wake of deteriorating relations with the United States under the administration of former Vice President Joe Biden, Saudi Arabia has announced plans to adopt an independent economic strategy within the next 7 days. For the low price of 83.7 billion won, China and Saudi Arabia have teamed up to construct an oil refinery in China. To lessen its reliance on the US dollar, Saudi Arabia has formed a trade alliance with China, Russia, India, Pakistan, and 4 Central Asian countries. Together with India, Saudi Arabia is building an investment bridge to promote greater economic integration. Still, many remain unaware of the impending collapse of the US dollar. At some point, it will give way. The public requires a holistic perspective. Oil prices spike after OPEC unexpectedly reduces output. How prepared are you for inflation? We anticipate version 2.0 of this. By the end of the week, I expect to see a rise in gas prices. As long as the United States continues to import oil, this problem will persist. If people hadn't bought into global warming and the Green New Deals, we might be in a much better position now. That needs to alter now. Russia's ruble has surpassed China's yuan as the country's most widely used currency. Moreover, you should have seen that coming a mile away. Japan goes against US policy and buys oil from Russia at above cap prices. So, here we see Japan breaking with Western allies by purchasing Russian crude oil at prices above the $60 per barrel cap after the United States granted an exception. Allies have grown weary of the US dollar. Take a look at the EU rhetoric towards the US. They claim that we are profiting enormously from the conflict at the expense of other countries. The public has had enough of it. While the media focuses on Trump and the latest trend, a major economic crisis is brewing in the background under the codename Operation Salmon. Over 100 countries have agreed to dump US debt at once, which has led to the collapse of the US dollar and hyperinflation in countries that peg their currencies to the dollar. And soon there will be hyperinflation. People really underestimate the magnitude of this. The cost of living in this country is about to increase dramatically. Suddenly, I have this overwhelming sense that it will occur very soon. It will come as a shock to everyone, but you should start getting ready for it now. Hyperinflation will affect any nation that pegs its currency to the US dollar. Now I'm glad I invested in cryptocurrency, as its value will increase dramatically as the US dollar declines in value. In a moment, we'll elaborate on that point. Members of the Pentagon attempt to frame bank runs as a serious threat to the U.S. Warner told The Intercept he was concerned about deepfakes, doctored videos purporting to be real videos of real people, because now they're saying it is a national security threat when people want to get their money out of the banks when our financial system is under attack. For some time now, I've been concerned about the presence of deepfakes in the system, so I'd like to know if you share my concerns about the possibility of adversaries being able to use them. He stated that the connection between deepfakes and SVB was unclear. A spokesperson for Warren did not really respond when asked for clarification. On the other hand, deepfakes are frequently used as a metaphor for the dangers of AI and fake news. What I gather he means by this is that it is possible that the people waiting in line to withdraw cash from a bank are not actually customers but rather computer-generated dummies. I disagree with him wholeheartedly and think it's ridiculous that he thinks people shouldn't be able to withdraw their own money from banks at any time. People are worried about their money being locked up. That's basically the crux of the matter. And now they're saying it's a much bigger problem than they originally thought. In March, American bank deposits fell by $400 million, the largest monthly decline in U.S. history. And right now, I think there's an alarming exodus from banks. Banks have lost the public's trust. I inquired of a few random weekend passers-by. How do you feel about banks? I inquired. There is a decline in support for it. Even those who aren't crypto fans are beginning to question their bank's reliability. They plan to go out and shop for precious metals. The banking industry has been struggling for quite some time. To my mind, we have never really gotten over 2008. Grade level behind students, militarism is down, illegal immigration is at an all-time high, violent crime is on the rise, and the homeless and drug overdose death rates have reached unprecedented highs. There has been a 40-year peak in inflation. Rising gas prices. Real estate sector. Banks failing because of the cost. A fall in US dollar. Aligned against the United States. Exactly how do you divert the attention of the nation? Put President Trump on trial. I want to share something with you. Things are going from bad to worse in this country. It's disintegrating rapidly. Moreover, it is obvious to anyone with functioning eyes. However, most people are preoccupied with other things at the moment. They're concerned about the whereabouts and marital status of their favorite celebrities. I want to share something with you. Before it's too late, the people of this country must come to their senses. I repeat that idea quite frequently on this channel. This place reminds me of a third world country. We're concerned about sending money to countries like the Ukraine due to our rapidly expanding homeless population. It's past time that we started fixing this country's issues. Taxes are paid so that the government can provide for its citizens, you know. For a long time, that hasn't been the case. US preeminence will only decline if crypto is removed surgically. Since I believe crypto to be the only solution, let's have a short discussion on the topic. Since cryptocurrencies are seen as a threat to the US dollar's hedge money in international trade, which has long benefited the US, Greenspan believes that the anticipated move against cryptocurrencies may already be in motion. However, as more people around the world adopt cryptocurrency, a ban on the practice in the United States could have the opposite effect on the dollar. In addition to harming the dollar's status as world reserve currency, the surgical removal of cryptocurrencies will further isolate the US banking system. I've been saying for a while that they'll be forced to adopt crypto, but no one seems to listen. They plan to repair the current fiat currency system. They will not conform to standard procedure regarding CBDCs. What most people don't realize is that all of this is leading up to a CBDC, and I still think that's where the Fed wants the US to go. There is a lot of potential in the Bitcoin correlation. When the USD falls, the price of cryptocurrency rises. It appears that conditions are favorable for the emergence of yet another cryptocurrency market boom. Now you can clearly see the DXY on the bottom and Bitcoin on the top. That's why Bitcoin prices shoot through the roof whenever the US dollar drops. It's always been that way in the past. When countries abandon the US dollar and its value begins to plummet, what do you think will happen to the stock market and cryptocurrency? A bubble will form, but that's when you'll have to make a choice. To safeguard the cryptocurrency earned wealth you're about to amass, you must formulate a plan for doing so. I believe opportunities will present themselves in the future, but you must remain alert to seize them. Even though most Americans still don't understand that the value of the dollar is plummeting, you should avoid making any rash decisions now that you know what's coming. Complete and utter dominance. Digital identification and CBDC systems are still being refined in Western countries. Soon, very soon. Don't get me wrong. If enough of us say no, maybe we can put a stop to it. That's the CBDC they are trying to force us into. And now the Fed is downplaying the fact that it will introduce a CBDC in July. FedNo is an international improvement. You prefer how truthfully enhancements define the term. A CBDC is what you have here. However, I anticipate that the pilot program will fall flat. They'll require that urgent circumstance. I constantly repeat this. The Fed may not be functioning properly at the moment, or the US dollar may soon collapse. Is it your sincere hope that the media will become like, who here doesn't need to buy some XRP right now? They will never in a million years claim that the media's goal is to spread false information. That's why they only spread carefully crafted stories designed to fool people who don't think for themselves. Use your own judgment. That's why I think some people were destined to be wide awake at the right time to buy XRP. In my opinion, XRP time has come to shine. In my opinion, the United States is rapidly disintegrating at this very moment. When I first started hearing about Russia's heavy emphasis on CBDCs and digital currencies in 2022, I assumed it would be a few years before the US dollar's decline in value would become apparent. That's exactly what happened. The Federal Reserve immediately followed suit and began discussing a CBDC. Then I said, well, that doesn't matter because the US dollar is still strong so far. Then I saw groups of countries forming an alliance to counter the US dollar, like the BRICS, and I realized, this is going to take a while. Then I realized Saudi Arabia played a significant role there. When that started to happen, I said, that's it, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video. Despite the rapid pace of modern change, I remain convinced that the United States government is more in tune with the World Economic Forum than the American people. That's the tragic part about it all. That's probably why we kept pushing forward with climate change. And I think that's what got us into this mess in the first place. Unfortunately, our government made a choice that prevented us from achieving energy independence. I think we could have kept our ties with Saudi Arabia strong, but I don't think our government is competent enough to understand the importance of Saudi Arabia to the value of the dollar. However, the truth is about to be revealed. On the one hand, as a crypto investor, I'm pretty pumped because I know this is the moment when XRP and Bitcoin both go parabolic and when people start calling for Bitcoin to hit $1 million. I think Bitcoin could make it if things get bad enough. Beyond that, however, I anticipate that many people outside of the crypto industry will face extremely difficult times. Suddenly, all of their money will be gone. Enjoy it. Like nothing else, in my opinion. At some point, we will reach a point of equilibrium. The cash crunch has not yet arrived. When that happens, believe me, it will be terrible. That's when we'll see the first signs of a wealth transfer, in my opinion. Those without cryptocurrency will see their wealth evaporate, while those who do will get rich quickly. That being said, I'm going to end this video now. I appreciate everyone who has tuned in. Thanks to everyone who has watched my videos. Please like and subscribe my channel. See you later, bye.